Welcome back to the channel, Squirrel Rage Workshop. This is part 2 of my turbo manifold build. Just real quick, wanted to explain the format of the video is I show most details of what I'm doing because it's meant to be informative for people that are trying to fabricate, and also to show you that you don't have to have a ton of experience like I don't to do this. It's probably a strange format because it might run on. I might show overly like details about things that normally people don't. So I just cut it all together and put a large track over each section essentially. And I'm trying to just be educational. So thanks for checking it out. Hope you enjoy it. I finished up the exhaust, the main turbo header. Now what I got to do is I need to run the downpipe out of the turbo. So from here, I need to connect that with the mid pipe down there. I use my existing mid pipe that I bought from a company called ZZP. I just broke the weld down at the 3-bolt flange and essentially twisted the whole unit to open it up like this. It did a little number like this, and it ended up putting this V-band right up in this area to connect to the old turbo, stock turbo and all that. I'm going to cut this right here, and while I'm at it, remove this small restriction here. It decreases in size here considerably. So I'm going to cut this out right here, cut it off right here, move this flange to this to remove that restriction, and also while I'm at it, I'm going to twist this down, which should put my V-band here somewhere like right here. There's an O2 bung here, and there's an O2 bung right down there. One's for the factory O2 sensor, and one's for the data logging for my HP tuners. All that stuff that you saw in the last video is 321 Schedule 10 stainless so that it could hold the weight of the turbo under driving conditions when it's bouncing and such. But the rest of it's just going to be 304 stainless, more of a standard 16 gauge. I also have to get a wastegate situation sorted out of each side of the divided turbo inlet, and that's got to recirculate back into the exhaust downpipe. Typically you don't want to do that. It actually disrupts the flow when you feed the wastegate back into the exhaust from the turbine. I'm just basically doing this so that I can get a turbo system set up on this thing, and I can break the engine in and get a baseline of what this turbo size is going to do with this displacement, how the turbo header is going to hold up, and stuff like that. I originally was talking about rerouting the exhaust over the engine in preparation for the larger turbo for the compound setup, which I still may do. But I'm just going to take care of this for now. And when I go to do that, add the larger turbo down the line, I'll reroute and rework all of the hot side stuff. It's just easier for me to just get this done the way that is going to be the simplest for now. One lesson. Alright, peeps, let me give you a little update here. Trying to do this wastegate situation, and it is killing me. This is how it sits in the car, and these are going to be the wastegate ports. Where's the other one? Oh, here you are, dirty little bastard. I got it to a point now to where I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it like fuck it. I'm just gonna tack it in and then try to fill it. My only worry is that little section back there is so hard to get to. What's gonna happen is this one's gonna turn essentially like this. This coming this way. It's gonna intersect with this one and then just kind of keep on going, you know, to where, so it'll be the two will go to one there, and it will come up and feed the wastegate, which is going to be like somewhere over in this area. I haven't been filming a lot of this shit. This shit took me hella long, like forever. So you know, I don't think you guys really need to see the nitty-gritty bullshit of me like wasting like 5 hours doing a fit up for a 1.5 inch. These are at different angles, so this goes like this, and it's supposed to catch this right here, and then this goes like this, so it's supposed to be able to kind of capture both sides of the split header. Continuing to work on this manifold, I made a really big mistake. Let's say that this right here is just a straight piece. Let's say you wanted to come off of that with this piece of tube. You would want to find the center of that and drill an angle coming in at center. Or if you wanted to go over here, that's fine, but you would want to make sure that it's in line with the way that the pipe is going. What you wouldn't want to do is drill a hole at an angle like this, coming into the top. Yes, it's doable, but it makes it 10 times harder because there's no online calculator for that. You would come off this way. You wouldn't want to rotate it this way or this way. If you wanted to go this way, it'd be best to just bring it over to center. When I did my wastegates, I wanted them to come off at an angle. I thought it would look kind of cool, but it's made the fitment really, really hard. I waited to weld the flange because the holes are essentially on the other side, but they're like right here and right here. I wasn't sure if they're going to get in the way. They're not going to get in the way. So what I've decided to do is I put tinfoil in these runners here to keep the gas from going into the runners. I went ahead and bolted this long piece of aluminum plate up to it to stop the gas from coming out, but also it's going to be a huge heat sink, and it's going to pull the heat out of this as I weld this flange. I'm going to feed the gas in here where the wastegate outlet is, and that'll be all protected in the gas coming in, the back purge gas coming in here all the way up to there. This is the monstrosity that I'm working with here. I think this heat sink will work well. Aluminum transfers heat really well, so I've got my AC on in here, and I always turn that fan on up in the corner. I crack my garage and turn that fan on up in the corner, and it pushes air out through the top of the garage. So I'll have like a decent amount of airflow. You don't want too much airflow when you're welding because it blows the gas away as it's coming out of your lens. But you know, you want some airflow obviously, so because that smoke coming off of the weld can be kind of obnoxious. That's where I'm at. Still trying to get this last phase so I can get this this hot side figured out. So it's taking me quite a while, but we're getting it.
This be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does this Lexicon separate truths like this be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does this Lexicon separate?
It's like 3, 2, 1 without the contact, without a contract. Independently participate in combat with 2 left feet over a 2 deaf beat. It's on fact and actual input, running the long track. Second thoughts and backtrack, step back even further. Been rocking since my wonder years cause I'm a quick learner. Stay under like a pervert, looking for some action. It's curtains for you like this was the end of Act 1. My satisfaction is rapping, making my eyes bloodshot and savoring foods that is sure to give me a blood.
My plan is to have this one coming up this direction about right there, and you can see the cutout that I made for the adjoining pipe. That goes there, this goes here, and we'll be then essentially like that. So cut these out and see how close I got.
Past the boundaries like a sideline where your crew is sitting on the bench. Backups, third and fourth stringers. Your group's a gimmick like that band winger, but we're first team all pro starters who rock harder. While you're still in recital, we're advancing to the finals.
This be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does
this Lexicon separate truths like
this be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does
this Lexicon separate truths like
mentality's
so far, takes light years to try to catch me. Maybe that's the reason that your crabs, they always hate me. For the simple fact that I be past the one that grabs the mic, irritation to my sound piece. But that won't cease till I call your style a weak player, baller, / whack MC of the week. Where I take my style as a new form of gravity. Innovation's my price, so yo, check your equities. I'm onto these complicated wannabes. Don't even talk the talk that they style say should be. Man, please, I'm on some 80 universes. So when I throw my shit, I'm having all y'all niggas
Yeah,
nervous.
they're like, you so fucking tight, I'm like, you so fucking right. Fighters with seasoned circles can't even copyright. Catastrophistic delight, kill the principles of nature. Using nomenclatures while you wear off like erasers. Smile like Speed Racer, greet my foes with my hand out. I stand out, like a map, I got it planned out. Your supply ran out, at the same time I was feeling just chillin'. Doing the most in Los Angeles, double as an evangelist in the church of just try us. Use my third iris to keep fighting like the Irish. You and Rudy stay groovy, I move to a new place. Give me a topic, I speak on it like Mac Yes.
This be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does this Lexicon separate crews like this be the Kazi, my niggas call me Kaz. How does this Lexicon separate
I'm commanding all
crews
MCs to hit the deck. Regardless of your status, I bring the top verbal artillery to your crew, make them pay like this call came in collect. But you can't hang up, I pipe these snare drums to your eardrum, cause most rappers sound real dumb. So we arrive to destroy all limits of the system. You need more crew and listen, we got all we need here. Lexicon and Kazi will get in that ass like fears. You say you've been here for years, but I don't care about your time frame or your minimal experience. At Whack MCs I'm furious, leave you in the dust while we discuss which rhyme to bust, or which mic to pass. Our problems pale in comparison to the MC who can't write a verse to save his ass.
Alright, this is why this is a Squirrel Rage workshop right here. This is a squirrel problem, fix the squirrel way. Straight bootleg, Exhibit A. We got our problem, which is a blown out hole here. As you can see here, fat hole. So I squirreled up a little morsel here, a little plug, if you will, and it fits about perfect as it's gonna get. And I gotta cap this off anyways from my inert gas that's inside of there. So why not use the tin foil that I'm gonna cap it off with to also hold the little piece in there. And we'll just fill it with a whole bunch of filler rod, like I've been doing on the rest of this trash that I call my project. And, you know, we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna kind of put this behind this, and I know it's like, oh God, it could get into the weld and stuff, but like, I think it'll be all right. I mean, probably not, but you know, whatever. It'll allow me to move on, that's what I'm after. Gonna just kind of place that there. All right, let's rock it. Let's see what happens. All right, so I got all the welds done finally, for the most part. So this is the whole rig here, removed from the car. I clocked this down pipe exactly where it needs to go. Once it's in, tighten that down. Went ahead and put the wastegate on. So for now, I'm just gonna dump it back into the downpipe. I have to get my 1.5 inch OD 304 and dump it into this right here somehow. I don't think it'll be too hard. Well, I've said that before though, had mad problems. I am a little concerned that heat is going to be a problem when it heats up and it starts to move and stuff, that tying this into this kind of triangulates the structure. Maybe I want to see where the weak point is anyways. It's not going to kill anything. You'll just hear a loud exhaust noise as soon as it cracks. It won't, it shouldn't destroy or hurt anything. So I just talked myself into it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just tie this in with a hard pipe. If later I want to take it out and put a bellows in, whatever. I'm going to see if I can expose any weaknesses in the structure. Wastegate outlet here needs to feed into the downpipe here. I've cut some pie pieces out of the 1.5 inch. Okay, that's gonna do for this example here. I originally tried larger pieces with 8-degree cuts and realized that the arc was gonna be too long. So recut some other pieces that are at 10 degrees and a little bit shorter here. And I just alternated them. It might be a little unorthodox and look a little funky, but I think it'll be all right. I think this one needs to turn a little bit actually now that I'm looking at it. Tape that back up. Okay, cool. So that's where we're sitting with that. I still have this piece that I want to shoot out sideways. If I go straight out, it's gonna kind of put me into this archway. And it'd be really hard to merge the two. So I want to come out at not a straight angle, but a little bit offset here. Actually right about there. It looks like I'm actually going too far. I need one less. So that's actually good. That'll give me a little bit more room here. See how this works out. That's pretty good there. And I also kind of like how it angles upward coming out, because the way that this wastegate is it's a 90-degree turn, but I've got my gases, my exhaust gas coming in at kind of this angle. So going out at that angle will probably increase the flow of the wastegate. I really don't think there's gonna be any problem with flow from the wastegate, being as how I have two 1.5 inch runners feeding it. I think it should be a significant bottleneck at the wastegate, which is exactly what you want, but you want to maximize the flow and minimize the turbulence and whatnot. So should be able to accomplish that. I'm gonna tack weld these together, and then we'll work on the hole into this, which should be the only thing I have to cut, and we should be hot side done. The welds came out okay. I had a blowout, I had a hole right there. I just had to fill it. Did the best I could. My main goal here is to make sure that when I cut into this, it's square, it's straight with the pipe. This weld right here is going to be extremely hard to get if it's that tight. You don't want it to be a super duper steep angle, take up this much of the join. I mean, that's a little rough. It's not quite square with the pipe though. I gotta roll it more. That's square with it. That would be a huge, I mean, that's pointing all the way down here. That's no bueno. There's gotta be a happy medium somewhere here. That would be really tough. I don't think I can weld that. I'm almost wondering if I need a new, this isn't gonna work. Maybe I need something that, I might wanna do a couple pie pieces here to lean that over rather than having such an abrupt turn. Cut this in half and just throw one of these pies I have in here So I'm gonna mark like a mark for where I want the fattest part to be of the pie, which is gonna be right here. I've got one here that's probably gonna be fine. Little tiny piece. Wouldn't think it'd take that long. Takes forever. So here's the piece tack welded together. Looks very strange. A lot of pies for just a little stupid piece. Now I need to figure out the hole that I need to cut into the primary tube. So I'm going to use an online calculator. I was able to take an angle finder while holding this, look at this from 90 degrees to the side, the best I could, and line this up on my angle finder with the surface of the 2.5, and this surface here with this surface of the 1.5. Line that up, bring it over, and line it up there, and find an angle difference between these two. So the angle ended up being 47.5. So now I'm gonna go to the computer, get that printout, and then we will be able to pick up from there. Well, I got it welded. The wastegate 2-bolt flange onto the makeshift shit I got going on here. Didn't come out too great. I mean, it didn't come out too fucking bad, but it's not. For some reason, I have this bad habit of making a puddle, feeding rod into it, and then kind of rolling my torch along and kind of up and back to make sure it connects to that tube in the base. And I think I put too much filler in there, and I like kind of liquefy too much at a time. I don't know, I just more concerned about no leaks and making sure it melts both the pipe and the flange metal. I did warp this pretty, not horribly, but I tacoed this a little bit. So I put it in the vise, beat it, and got it like that, and then I hit it with the sander and got it back to flat, which is fine. It's, you know, no big deal. So yeah, this is thinner than this, and I know you're supposed to keep the heat on the thicker piece and kind of roll the heat, kind of, I think, glance it off of this sort of, and then lay your bead in there. I'm gonna put this onto the wastegate and then tack this shit out of this. Then I'll take the wastegate off and I'll actually take this V-band off, plug, feed the gas, the back purge into the other side. Tinfoil here, put a hole through it so the flow is wanting to go through it, and that hopefully will make sure that this is all covered with gas as I do this. Well, so that's the video. It came out pretty good, I think. The welds aren't as good as I want them to be, but for a first project, I'm not like super stressed about it. We'll see how it holds up to the heat of the exhaust and the expansion and contraction of the the hot and cold phases as it runs and then it rests. I am a little concerned that this is too big of header tube choice. It's 1.615 inch interior, so a little over 1.5 inch inside diameter. I'm just concerned that it's going to lose too much velocity from the small displacement of the engine. So we'll see. I know that in the future I want to compound turbo it, and that'll probably be great for this size header. I got a request on a comment to basically blueprint this, but I don't really know how I would do that other than 3D scan it and put that out. I'm not gonna be able to like blueprint this, like, oh, go so long and then make a certain degree turn and then twist this many degrees and use this elbow. That's not gonna be practical. I will put a list of exactly how many bends I used and which bends they were, like long radius 90 or short radius 90s and 45s. That's really all I can do. I don't really know how to blueprint it any better than that, so I do apologize for that. I don't have a 3D scanner, so I can't even give you that file of a 3D scan. If you're gonna build a turbo header, first of all, making it split, like a twin scroll style with the split intake, was a huge pain in the ass. So if you just put it all to one collector, a 4-to-1 style collector, the wastegate ports can just go to the whole collector at that point. Also, it's, like for this one to get to this side, I had to go all the way around and under here, which is hard to do. And we'll see if this turns out to be a good design. The lengths are definitely way different. This one and this one are the longest. So the two outside ones are longer than the two inside ones. And that's concerning because they're going to their own side. So if you delay both of the long ones to this side, and this one is like a regular shorter runner length, I'm worried that it's gonna hit like a gallop instead of a consistent side to side, that it's gonna go bam, 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 There's just too much theory involved and too much physics involved, for me to figure out what that's gonna do. I just gotta put it on and see what it's gonna do, see how it's gonna perform, see what it sounds like. And that's basically the approach I'm taking with this whole thing. There's a great possibility that these will be too large and I just can't build any velocity, especially in the low end. And I've got a turbo on there that's, I think, probably too big for a primary. So I anticipate massive turbo lag. It wouldn't surprise me if boost didn't come on fully until 5,000 RPMs. It would not surprise me at all. Like I said before, that's okay if that happens. I'm just trying to break this motor in. I don't want to get into boost a ton anyways. For the first, 1,000 miles, I guess. I have to look into the break-in thing. It'll be the first motor I've ever broke in. So that'll be coming down the line in future videos. So yeah, that's where we're at. Overall, I'm happy with it. It's cool, but now I'm in a situation where I just need to mount it and find out. And the next thing I got to do is push the radiator forward. I don't have enough room for this setup. So I'm gonna push it forward a couple inches, make room for that, and then I got to do the oiling and the drain, and then the intake or charge pipe connection to the intercooler. So those are the things that I'll be doing next, and should be able to. I'm hoping to start it by the fall. So Thanks for checking the video out. I hope it's informative and entertaining, hopefully. And we'll see you on the next one.